What is going on, guys? Judo Sloth here, and welcome to today's Clash of Clans video. We are going to show you some variety. At Town Hall 12, we have miners, Electro dragons, and the BoWitch. No lava loon attacks for you today, just focusing on these strategies, a couple of different ones at Town Hall 12. You can see Clash Lord is doing a fantastic job with his kill squad, setting up that queen charge initially, and the Electro dragon is used fantastically as a funnel on that left hand side. You can also see that the battle blimp comes in with the Valkyries, a technique which is often forgotten about now that we see the cloned Electro drags, but in this case they managed to lure the CC and take out the single Inferno and the Eagle artillery. That is fantastic for the miners. Queen continues to do her job, and the king can now come in alongside a couple of wizards in order to take out the trash buildings on the side. That is going to allow the miners into the defenses of the base themselves and just mean that they can take down the things that they need to take down. You do not want them getting stuck on the outside of the base. Clash Lord does a fantastic job here. All of the attacks by Red Elite. If you want to join us, obviously if you join my Discord server, down in the description of the video, all of the information for our clans are in that server. Let me know though what you think of these Town Hall 12 attacks and what you guys like to use the best. You can see the freeze spell onto the Giga Bomb is often very important for the miners. They can get it down and survive through the bomb itself afterwards, but the Giga Tesla, which is doing the damage, can really take down the miners quickly. So whilst a heal is often used on the miners, a rage spell is sometimes needed depending on how quickly you need the Giga Tesla down, but as you saw, the freeze spell can also be used to good use. The queen at this point has lost the healers, but it's not the end of the world, because sometimes when the healers transfer to the miners, it can be exactly what they need, just to give them that boost and help them through the rest of the base. Now the next attack is absolutely fantastic, and you guys that have been on my channel for quite some time will know exactly why. It's something that I used to do in terms of strategy over and over again. Remember these ring style bases? They used to dominate Clash of Clans, and I always used to use this strategy as a Town Hall 10 attacking up. It always used to be my 2-star, but it can give you a 3-star strategy as well. It's creating that funnel with the BoWitch and getting some Valkyries into the core, a strategy which has long been forgotten, but thanks to the Wall Wrecker as well, it makes it even more viable. Check this one out. The Stig does a fantastic job using a couple of balloons first, just checking if there's any air mines in that area, and then going to charge the queen down towards the enemy queen. Now look at how much value we actually get here. We managed to take down the enemy queen. Now moving forward, you can see the single Inferno and also the air sweeper, which is pushing them healers back, but the Grand Warden being there allows us to not only get through the single Inferno once, but then we have the queen ability in order to take down the CC and ultimately get onto the single Inferno, take that down, and she continues to charge forward. Now at this point, it's pretty safe. We know exactly where that queen is going. We can just spam in that BoWitch and it will come in to help. But the Town Hall is in the center of the base. That means the Wall Wrecker can press its way forward. Now what you used to have to do with this strategy is wait until the funnel had been created so that your Valkyries would take a jump spell to the middle. You don't even have to worry about that now, because you can use the Wall Wrecker to just create a path right the way through from the outside of the base right into the center, and even reinforce that with some Valkyries, as you see the Stig doing right here. A fantastic job, and some jump spells to help them back out the other side of the base. You can see the amount of damage they are receiving in the center is huge, so actually getting them out of the center of the base is super important. I still remember all of them years ago when Clan Wars first came out and the 2-star strategies were starting to be transformed into 3-star strategies. That was the most simplistic way of doing it. Once you had your go wipe or your go wee wee into the center of the base, it was trying to jump them out of the center. I used to love them times in Clash of Clans. I mean, I'm glad things developed from them, but it's good to reminisce every once in a while, guys. So there we are, another fantastic strategy. Let's take you to an air attack, the Electro Dragons, and then we'll move to another fantastic minor attack after that. All of these attacks, like I said, by Red Elite, and we absolutely crushed this war. We are into our second Supercell CWL matchup, and basically we got promoted after the first one to Champ 3. We're hoping to get promoted again. Make sure to stick around on the channel in order to see exactly how we do. So on this one, Living Legend, he does pretty good with the Electro Dragons, guys, and I just like how he basically brings it in towards the base and just factors the spells for exactly where they need to be for each of the defenses. So a simple funnel is made, basically with a couple of minions taking out the army camps. It's going to allow the queen directly onto the town hall. Take that down. Again, we have the free spell in that area, and that's a pretty good investment. The queen to get that down and basically manages to get an archer tower and a pretty decent funnel here. Now, what I mean by that is the single target infernos are the real bugbear of the Electro Dragons. Now, you can see that this one here can now be directly targeted. There's no trash buildings or there's no defenses for that matter. The balloons are able to target it directly as well. And he's basically going to use the Electro Dragons to chain through these buildings since they're so close together, but also utilize the balloons onto the defenses as well. So as they come forward, they get cloned, they take out the defenses and protect the Electro Dragons. Now, we do have a few Electro Dragons that have kind of moved across to the left of the base, and they would have became a little bit vulnerable. So a few balloons come in that direction as well. They're actually going to be able to get across to the Inferno Tower, kind of taking the long way in terms of trying to directly target it. But fortunately, it does work out for him, manages to get the single target Inferno, and amazingly, the Electro Dragons just have more than enough to take down the rest of the defenses and ultimately help to get the 3 stars. So, the Electro Dragons definitely still a 3-star troop, and they really are dependent on the base, guys. You guys can let me know in the comments what you think, but I have seen them even right up in the CWL getting used successfully in order to crush bases, and I really like this minor attack as well. Slightly different to the last one, but the minors are something that I think I need to start practicing with a little bit more again. I used to always use them to farm Dark Elixir, and I've kind of gone off that, but in war, I'm telling you guys, they have been smashing it lately. So King Jimbo, another fantastic attacker here from Red Elite, is going to come in with the Queen Charge, if you will, but basically just enough to get in, get that Giga Tesla, and there's a massive Tesla farm there as well, not to mention that horrible tornado trap sends the queen spinning around. Now, if I'm honest, it doesn't really do too much to the queen. She can still shoot at these defenses. She actually takes down all of the Teslas just as easy, takes down the CC, and then takes down the Giga Bomb as well. Huge amounts of damage. I think that's what this attacker, or the defender, sorry, was depending on. The fact that they could potentially take down the queen. Now, because the healers, for some reason, swap across to the Warden, she does go down, but she's done her job at this point. She's taken out that horrible section of the base, and the miners again can get straight into the middle, and we have all of the spells for the miners at this point. Now, I might have liked to have seen something just to try and take out the trash buildings on the outside, but we do have a wall wrecker which comes into the middle and tries to help with some bowlers to ultimately try and get some of them defenses depending on where the miners were steering. Sometimes once they get into the base like this, they can start to split. Now, sometimes it can be a good thing, sometimes it can be a bad thing. It all depends on how you've controlled them. In this case, King Jimbo, it comes out to be pretty good. There's just enough miners in each area to take down the defenses. Sometimes the miners split in a way that they almost become less efficient because they're not protecting each other. They're taking more DPS. In this case, there's just enough for them to take down the defenses, and ultimately we still have a big pack coming around the top, and the bowlers in the center are what help to finish off some of these defenses and allow the miners through in order to get the 3 stars. So it's been a little while since I've brought you some attacks from Red Elite. Wanted to do that today. That wraps it up though. Until next time, peace out.